Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Yo! Let's get going out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. Welcome on in back again to the Sports Buffoons studios here out of Lenexa, Kansas. Once again, of course, we got our boys, the full clan with us. We got Jason JG to my left and Tanner Dawson to my right.
What's up, my people?
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Good, I'm good.
Good on the right. JG, you're doing
I've never been better, man. I've never been better.
Good. I enjoy whenever you have your little ooh as your welcoming call, I suppose. Is that a mating call as well, or just the hello people?
It's the mating call, actually.
The mating call. Okay.
I always get really excited in here because, when our show does really, really well, that's like one of the best parts of my life. So I get a kick out of it.
That's good, man. That's good. It seems to have been a pretty good week so far. The weather's cooling off finally. Gosh darn it! Thank God. I've been very happy about that as a person.
It's supposed to cool off even more next week. 60s, man.
I'm all about it, man. I'm over the 90-degree weather. The fall is finally here, so that is what I'm excited about the most. But otherwise, man, it's been a good, exciting week, I suppose. Anything new coming up or anything going on that we should know about for the people out there listening?
I think the last time I checked, people are putting out their Halloween decorations. And that actually, it doesn't piss me off, but it pisses a lot of people off because a lot of homeowner associations do not allow that shit until October the 1st. Well, the last time I checked, we're in September, and people already have their Halloween decorations out. So
6 days before September.
I'm sure a lot of different opinions on that.
October, sorry.
I personally, I wish they would put it out in July. That's my... I have a different personality.
If you can have Christmas decorations up in October, why can't you have Halloween decorations up in September?
Apparently, that's the thing.
I
believe it, though. Homeowners associations, I believe it.
But Tanner, I noticed you've got your Halloween decorations out. Your daughter is the same, close to the same age as my daughter, and that's my daughter's favorite holiday.
Pretty sure that's mine too.
Entire year.
Yeah.
So both of our daughters' favorite holiday is Halloween.
They love it.
And, apparently there's people out there that have to take issue with all these Halloween decorations. So I don't know what's up with it, man.
It's too bad, man. It's also my favorite holiday as well as Halloween. So for me, it's like I see Christmas stuff start popping up all of a sudden, like basically now. And I'm like, man, how come that can happen? But you can't have decorations up in front of your house in September, for Halloween.
Can't do this, can't do that.
Hell, man, this is messed up.
If the stores sell it, put it out.
We're gonna rank.
That's true. It's a good way to look at it.
One of these days, we're gonna have to rank our favorite holidays on here because I'm pretty sure mine is my birthday.
Pretty sure we've done this once.
Is my birthday a holiday? I think it should be. But I don't know. Like,
it's close.
We should probably try to rank that one of these days. The best holidays.
I think it's some
calendar year.
President's holiday.
I know we talked about it.
That, so. Yeah, something along those lines. I know for me, man, I made a little boo-boo while shaving earlier, or while buzzing my beard. A little boo-boo.
You did.
So. Can't even tell.
You guys
can't even tell.
I can tell big time. It's going to take a couple of days to go back, but a little boo-boo. So Mike might be less scruffy than normal. So, yeah, the sides have been trimmed very short today, but I managed to salvage the chin area. So I have not done that in like 3 years. So, we all make mistakes from time to time. And maybe the problem is I'm getting older, like some other players in the league, and you start to make more mistakes as you get older in the NFL, and especially even if you were once great, sometimes things just kind of slip up as time goes.
Hey, that happens, man.
That's bullshit. I think you make fewer mistakes.
Fewer?
As you get older. Yeah, because you've learned from your mistakes as you get older, so you shouldn't be making as many mistakes as you did when you were younger. But I personally think you should go opposite next time and go with the lamb chops. I really want to know what that looks like. I want you to go with the freaking lamb chops. That would be pretty cool.
If that ever happens,
like Elvis,
we will be doing a show the week after that. It will not be on the week of, so I can forgive this one. It'll just take 3-4 days to come back.
In the theme of Halloween on that one. That's what that would be like.
Tanner, too soon. Come on. The homeowners association is going to be pissed.
So where are we going this weekend, Mike? Are we going on an all-night bender, or are we going on a trip?
That's true. I guess we'll tell the people real quick before we jump into our main topics of the day. Of course, Chiefs, Royals, and some NFL things we need to shout out. You and I are going to be going up to Omaha, Nebraska here Friday afternoon. Could be a little exciting for me, at least. I'm going to see one of my favorite bands of all time. They're from Australia. And you, on the other hand, will just be coming along to, lay down some bets, I would assume.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to drop you off at the concert, and then I'm going to go to the casino and do what I do, which is
pick me up from daycare when you're done.
That's my. I'm going to be doing some professional gambling up there, and we'll see what happens.
Well, don't blow your load all in one shot. I want you to save some of that because I also want to get my load in there.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, I also want to gamble too, but we got to make sure we have enough saved up together to where we could both play at the same time rather than different times.
Kind of sounds like you want to do a DP in that case.
Well, what I'm saying is I'd rather do it with you than without you, rather than doing it one at a time.
That'd be a
if
DP.
You can save some of that, at least half the load. Then I can come in there after my concert's over, and then we can do the DP.
Well, I'm not going to quit. If I get on the heater, we're going to still bet. We're going to be betting, and
just don't wear yourself out too early. That's all I'm saying. I need to make sure I come in with some energy.
He needs his fill as well.
So we're going to fill him up.
You guys have a blast. I'll be in Milwaukee next week. It's going to be a playoff ball. It's going to be a fun time. So,
Tanner, looking forward to that, man. Obviously, we're very, very proud of your brother, Mr. Connor Dawson, and the job he's done out there in Milwaukee, and very, very excited to see how they do in the playoffs. Obviously, rooting for him big time here in Kansas City. So, looking forward to that, and obviously, about to spill any news, but here in December, he's got something else big coming up. So,
yeah, he does.
Looking forward to that too, man. So, anyways, guys, let's jump into the sports of the day. Let's knock this one out right out the gate, man. The game just did it, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to talk about the Royals first for a few minutes here. It's been an irritating last week or two of being a Royals fan. They had gone like 11 days in a row without a win at one point. And, now
you didn't have a win since September 14th.
Right.
So,
I mean, luckily the last two nights, though, been able to get a victory. Got one tonight, got one last night. Wasn't pretty. But hell, you won 1-0 last night, 3-0 tonight. Pitching is at least showing up. The hitting is still pretty awful. But man, so this team is looking like they're going to be able to make it in the playoffs. It's like 80-something% likelihood at this point.
Yes.
Not that they deserve it after the way they performed the last few days, but compared to other teams, I suppose other teams were also failing.
I mean, nobody else deserves
it.
Right.
The Twins were awful, have been awful over the last couple weeks. The Tigers have just kind of been around, I guess, through this process.
They're 8-2. They're AJ Hinch over there is just killing it right now.
So the teams that were on the Royals' heels basically have also been shit in the bed, just like the Royals have. So basically, as I've said to a couple of different people, I was like, yeah, the Royals are basically getting a playoff berth butt first in this situation, where it's like it's not like you're coming out head first and you're on the same page and you're rolling with steam. No, you're just kind of going to poop yourself out there, and you're going to be in it. I don't know how it's going to go afterwards, but you're going to be in it at least. At least that's the way it's looking right now. So, with that said, man, if this offense cannot get it moving at all, I mean, Bobby Witt's doing his job. Salvador Perez had a nice hit today, and that's good to see. But this offense, especially the lineup, has not been the same since the loss of Vinny Pasquantino, which is something we've talked about a few different times now. I don't know if there's any fixing that. As great as this pitching rotation is on starting five, the main five on pitching rotation, as good as they are, I don't know that the offense can make up.
There is no fixing though. I mean, you lose a top 4 RBI guy like Vinny, and you brought in Tommy Pham, you brought in a couple other guys. You're
40-year-old girl.
You're not replacing a Vinny of this season. You're not, and you can put the smallest Band-Aid you can on there. It's not going to do anything for this team. Unfortunately, that's just what it is.
It's amazing to me still that one guy made such an impact on the offense.
Top 4 RBI in the major leagues.
Yeah, he was.
That's major impact to a team.
He was clutch too.
Yes.
And the guy was getting hits when everything's mattered.
And it's really unfortunate to see the way it has gone since his injury, but it goes to show you where he stands as a player for the Royals, where he stood in this lineup. You're not replacing.
I remember the day after Vinny got injured, the offense went out there and just did nothing. I mean, you could just almost feel like the deflation in the team after that injury occurred, to where like they felt deflated as
they hurt
offensively.
They hurt,
and they've never really come back from it. They've had moments where they've looked better, since that point happened, but they have not been the same at all.
Yeah.
So, Jason, what's your thoughts at the state of the Royals? Obviously, we are less than a week out from playoff baseball beginning.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way that you're going to fix the offense because the offense is completely different. Once Vinny went out with the injury, everything changed. And, I know a lot of fans, including myself, we just lost heart in the team because we're sitting here right now and before this game, we had an 80% chance of making the playoffs, according to Polymarket, and that just went up. And now all of a sudden we're just sitting here with a team like we can pitch. We have great pitching, and especially starting pitching, but we can't score. So what happens when you can't score but you can pitch? Well, all of a sudden, when you get into the postseason, you've got your bats have to get hot, and that's our only hope at this point because, like I said, completely different offense without Benny. You've just got to hope that those bats get hot at the right time, and maybe it will happen. But for right now, we had an 80% chance of the postseason. I think right now we're looking at if the Royals go 2-2 the rest of the way, the Twins have to run the table, and if we go 1-3, the Twins can only lose one more game. So at this point, there's a high probability that the Royals are going to be in the postseason. But for me personally, it's just like, okay, that's fine, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do with that opportunity? And for me, it's either the bats are going to get hot or they're not going to get hot. And we know the outcome of both of those situations.
I agree with you on the 2-2. I like that stat there because it's important to know. But what's more important to know is if you want to be part of this wild card and have a chance, you got to have this thing locked up by Saturday. Otherwise, Cole Reagans goes out there on Sunday. We don't want Cole going out there on a Sunday. We don't want Cole going out there on the last game of the year in the series to try to clinch this thing because we want him for our wild card starter. Plain and simple. You have to lock this up. I get it. Atlanta, I don't know if anybody heard yet today, but Atlanta's 2 games with the Mets have been postponed. They'll play a doubleheader on Monday, which means they get 2 days of rest before we show up from Washington to Atlanta. And that means we get the probably NL Cy Young winner, Chris Sale, right off the bat. Then we get the number 2, which is Fried, to go with on Saturday. So we got really 2 tough battles here, but we got to win tomorrow, and we got to try to get one of these games on 27-28. So it's some big series here. The best part about it, the Twins do have such a soft schedule or hard schedule. They'd have the Orioles to mess with after the Marlins. The Tigers I'm not worried about because they get the White Sox, so we all know what that is. And then the only other team right now who actually has won again today versus the Astros, which is actually kind of concerning for a Royals fan right now, 2.5 back on tied with the Twins. And they do have Oakland, who isn't in Oakland. They are going to be in Seattle. And that's the only benefit here for Seattle fans. So that's the big one right now, guys. I don't necessarily think we're watching the Twins here. We got to take care of business here, plain and simple, so we don't have to lose this thing to Seattle.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this team is going to be lucky to be in it in the first place after the way they've played the last couple of weeks. And it's not going to be easy no matter who they face. And to Jason's point,
and Atlanta's playing for a playoff spot too.
Yeah,
those 2 games with the Mets on Monday are going to be massive for them.
Getting hot at the right time is not a thing that actually happens whenever you offensively. I mean, for the past week or so, you've done hardly anything at all. And the run you scored last night was an error. I mean, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Tonight they got 3, which is awesome. That's a big freaking jump.
Last night.
What I'm saying is they finally got a run after 28 innings. Didn't even deserve it. Now they won the game tonight 3-0.
Yeah.
So they finally had a earned run and a deserved run through some of their hitting. But I mean, 3 runs. I mean, come on, man. This team is going to have to do more than that to do anything in the playoffs against good quality competition.
I mean, again, I've said it once, guys. I've said it again. Even with Vinny, you're still a total of 6 series won against winning teams, playoff worthy teams. It's rough, man. It's rough going into possibly the AL wild card. with that kind of numbers on your resume.
But guys, like, if you told me this team would be in the playoffs this year, I'm gonna be happy with that.
You're telling me they're competing for a playoff spot.
Well,
I'm happy about it.
No, the way they played all year long, it was a big tease because
against the bad teams. I keep telling you this, dude.
This team was fine up until the point Pasquantino got injured.
They lost the games they should have won. They won the games they should have won. So
they lost to the A's multiple times, and they lost to bad teams. They also beat good teams at times. That's the point. I'm just
six series.
Tanner, you know what I'm talking about. Gosh darn it!
I think if you had Vinny, like we've talked about this 1,000 times, like if you had Vinny, the expectations would be different. Okay, so if you make it to the postseason, now we expect a little bit more. Now that Vinny's not here, we expect a little bit less. I feel like most of the fans out there would agree with
you. Have Vinny here. Your New York series probably stays the same, 1-2. But you don't get swept by Detroit. You don't get swept by San Francisco.
No,
with that extra offense out there. Plain and simple.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anyways, we'll know a lot more a week from now, which I'm looking forward to doing, obviously, a show for that and talking about.
We'll either be giving you a recap, or we'll be talking, how are we doing after one game with the playoffs?
That's what I'm thinking we're going to be going after, is one game after.
That's the goal, man. I think so too.
Something with the offense can be lit on fire to get it rolling.
Don't let Seattle catch fire and let us get through the sales and free.
So this is the last time I'm going to ask this question. So we've been asking this question literally every single show up until this point. So this is it. Do the Royals make the goddamn playoffs? That's it. Yay or nay?
Do I have to go first?
What are you doing, Tim?
Yeah, you do.
You farting around?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you got to go first then.
They're going to make the playoffs. It's been a wild season, I think, and they're going to make it. They're going to probably shit the bed, no matter what happens after that. But I feel like once we're in, we're playing with house money, and a lot of times those are the most dangerous teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm all in on the Royals. We are going to make the postseason.
Yeah, I've had the same.
87. I'm going to go 87. You guys can go to Poly Market if you want. I think it's probably 87%.
What do you Poly?
Damn, dude. I don't even know what the hell Poly Market is, dude.
They predict.
I've never heard of this in my life.
You would be interested in this, Tanner, and you would.
Polyamory.
They predict presidential elections, like who's going to win the presidential election. Which, I mean,
so that's what we're based on.
That's where it is. I knew there had been something related to it, dude.
So let's be honest here. Like for the
polyamory market.
For the life of me, who cares about that? I couldn't care less about the president. I mean, it's a couple of worthless bums running for that office, but I could care less. But they do predict sports stuff too. So 87%. It went from 80 to 87%. Royals have a chance to make the postseason. So if you want to take the odds on that, you're going to bet against, you're probably going to lose on that. I mean, basically, you'd have to have some key injuries to that team for them not to make the playoffs after the win that they just accomplished tonight.
All right. You guys already know my answer. It's been the same answer all year long. I'm the only one on the show, for the record, that has said they'll make the playoffs every single week. So go ahead, Tanner.
That's incredible. That's insane, dude. That's insane.
I'm just letting you know.
The drama.
Let the record show is the only one
all the drama that's encountered.
But I only skipped 1 week.
I've said yes all year long.
And the reason why I skipped 1 week was because I was hammered. And
you were trying to jinx them. That's what it was. Look, man, it's unfortunate that we're going to pitch Cole on Sunday. But this team makes the freaking playoffs. They take it to Sale. They lose to Freed on Saturday. But they have Cole pitch. Cole pitches outstanding game. We end up winning by 3. We put Atlanta's playoff jeopardy into that doubleheader come Monday. And quite frankly, to me, Atlanta misses it. So give me the Royals in the playoffs. I think we encounter it here, but we do have to pitch Sale on Sunday. So here we got Starsky out here. No matter what happens, the playoffs, it was a good year for KC. Before the season, I don't think anyone thought this was a playoff team. Not necessarily a playoff team. A competing team could be.
Mr. Connor Dawson gave me an official prediction back in early season.
Yeah.
I think he said 85 wins to me, personally.
So pretty close. What's up, Hunter? Hello, I have one fantasy question, just one. Guys, can we take a fantasy question from Hunter?
Yeah, let's do a fantasy question.
All day.
Wandale versus Dallas or Michael Wilson versus Washington? Full PPR.
Either way, that's pretty rough going, man.
That's a tough decision.
That's
right
what
there.
you're working with at the moment. I'm probably going with Michael Wilson on that.
I'm going Michael Wilson.
Just because it's so inconsistent with Wandale at this point. Like, I'd rather you go Michael Wilson.
And you don't know what Dallas Stevens is going to show up this week either. So
I'm curious what other options you have, though. I feel like I don't know how deep
there has to be 2 or 3 more.
Right.
It's a 10-man, I think, PPR. So
it's a 10-man PPR. There's better options. Like, what's on your free agent list, man? There's got to be some guys out there.
He has Waddle and Puka, and he doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh, so he's had some injuries.
He got some injuries going on. So, yeah, I would go Michael Wilson in this matchup, Hunter.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, the secondary for Washington stinks. And so you don't know what Dallas Stevens is going to show up on primetime on Thursday.
Let us know what the top wide receiver free agents are for you. Out there.
See who's out there, man.
Curiosity.
Who's out on the waiver wire? Put it in.
So there's maybe better options maybe. All right, guys. Well, let's jump on over to the Chiefs here for a few minutes at least. Guys, it's been an interesting beginning for people like Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes on this roster. Slow start to, the best quarterback tight end combination in NFL history. 6 catches for Travis Kelce at this point. Patrick Mahomes has 5 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions right now. He's not looking comfortable really whatsoever within the offense. He's force feeding Rashee Rice, which honestly, we don't have a lot of weapons after that at the moment.
14 targets last game,
Hollywood
12
Brown
receptions.
being out for the season. So something's going to have to give at some point. Either Kelsey's going to have to step up more. Mahomes is going to have to find other outlets. You can't force feed Rashee Rice.
You lost Pacheco too, which hurts that part. So
yeah, but I think the Chiefs did okay without Pacheco in this last game.
I'm just saying, like those 14 targets turned into maybe 10 targets with Pacheco. So
yeah, we could go there with that. I mean, we didn't really see. Obviously, Pacheco as a receiving back can be very, very high quality, whereas we don't really expect to see much of that from other guys on the roster. Whether obviously Samaje Perine, and we don't really know much about yet as a receiving back with this team. Just because he did it with the Broncos does not mean he's going to do it here in Kansas City. And obviously, I think we're all pretty happy with the running game in this last game. Without a doubt, even with the loss of.
Hunter says he has Mooney's the top one on the waiver wire, but he has the number 1 priority. Doesn't want to lose it. Well, what are you wasting it on? You're about to start Michael Wilson or Wandale Robinson, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Go get Darnell Mooney.
It's not the best option, but how desperate are you? You got to think.
I'd rather start Mooney than Wilson than Wandale.
I probably would too,
honestly.
But you got to consider how desperate you are. If your team right now is 1-2, you're desperate.
You got to go get them.
You probably got to make a move and not worry about holding on that number 1 waiver pick. So,
yeah, I mean,
if you're 2-1, I would say okay,
start Michael Wilson.
Maybe a little more lenient. You could probably give one up, but otherwise, if you're 1-2,
2-1,
okay. If you're 2-1, depending on who you're playing against, because I know my league pretty well. I know who I can fool around with more than others, and I would say just roll with Michael Wilson and see how that pans out.
If you don't want to waste it,
if you don't want to waste your waiver,
I'd go Mooney personally for me over those 2 guys, but you do what you want to do in the end. What do you say? I pulled off Christmas miracles. That's what he said. Some Christmas miracles.
Get one more miracle, hold that number 1 waiver pick, and then get somebody else next week.
Try to get 3-1 and see what happens next week.
So, anyways, guys, back to the Chiefs. Obviously, we're 3-0, man. I know it has been kind of a struggle at this point with this team. Offensively, it's been very frustrating at times. That Bengals game was crazy. There was a stat I told you guys. I think we might have brought it up last week. That was something wild. We were the first team out of 150 games that had matched so many different criteria of bad offense and then still won the game. And, of course, the Chiefs were the ones to do it. But, obviously it's frustrating because Mahomes is not playing like Mahomes. He's also admitted that during press conferences and talked about that. He knows he's not playing up to his ability. I think he did mention today during his press conference that, they're kind of figuring out things in their, weekly practice that he's going to work on that can help fix some of the timing that they got issue-wise with the rest of the team. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, I'd like to see him be involved more in downfield passing, not just running those quick screen passes or go routes. I know he can do more than that. I saw him at Texas, man. I know he's capable of a lot more. But here we are. This run defense looks really good to me. I mean, they're solid. They shut down Bijan Robinson, held him to 2 yards.
Nick Bolton's back, baby.
Nick Bolton looked awesome against the run, of course, last week.
That's what we needed.
Shutting them down, running sideline to sideline. And then Leo Chenal, man, right now the number 3 linebacker on Pro Football Focus's rankings. And it's because he's just,
he's insane.
Play to play. He makes an impact. If he doesn't get tackles, that's fine. But he makes an impact on the play itself.
Yes, he does.
Very smart linebacker, which, if you remember, Tanner, he was the number 1 run defense linebacker at Wisconsin as well.
He was.
So the guy was.
It was a huge win to
now
get him.
Translating what he did at Wisconsin to the NFL. We even see him lining up on the inside at times, like he did at Wisconsin, where he used to have that formation where he would line up even over the center at times and then kind of wreak havoc a little bit. They're trying to do different things with him, which has been great to see. Pass defense wise, I mean, I think that there's a few things to figure out a little bit. The tight ends are still getting open more than they should. Kyle Pitts had his biggest play that he's had in a long
50-yard bomb?
51-yard play, which is his longest play as a tight end in this league.
But it was one bomb. That's all he really had.
Sure.
I mean, we kept him in check for the most part, but you had to realize, it's the safety coming up now. They were putting safeties on him this game instead of linebackers.
The Chiefs would be the team, though, to allow that because they've had issues against tight ends so far at this point.
Correct.
So there's some issues, of course, on both sides of the ball, which is awesome to think about because, as I said, we're 3-0. We're 3-0. There's a lot to work on. Andy Reid knows a lot to work on. So right now, guys, I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on where the Chiefs are at? Is there concerns about Travis Kelce? And, 35 years old, man, is this the end? Or is this kind of the guy we're going to see the rest of the way?
I don't know. How do you feel today, Mike? I can tell you how I feel.
Well, I'm not 35 yet.
Oh.
But.
Oh, yeah, you're not.
You're almost 35.
I'm almost 35.
I got a ways to go, man.
You got a year.
and then, Patrick Mahomes as well, off to his worst start as a Chief or as a football player ever, honestly, in his entire life to this point. He's actually never played this poorly this early in the season consistently for the first 3 weeks. So, guys, are there some concerns there? What do you guys think about how we're going to get this figured out?
I think offensively, you're talking about Mahomes with a slow start. I think that's a good thing because we want these guys to start slow and get better with time and play better at the right time. With the Kelce thing, we've talked about this before. The guy is, we've already proved that his target share is the lowest. If you take this year's and last year's target share, it's the lowest since 2014 for Kelce. A lot of people think, oh, well, he's just washed. No, he's not washed. That whole thing is planned right there. So this is an orchestrated situation where we know what Kelce did in the regular season last year, which wasn't a whole lot. We know what he did in the postseason last year, which was
And so I think when you're trying to three-peat, you have to think a little bit differently. Okay, so about this team, you're not thinking about, oh, what can I get out of Kelce in the regular season? How concerned am I about him that he's not, just blowing up every single week in the regular season? I don't really care. Okay, the Chiefs are kind of out in the stratosphere right now. We're on a different level. Okay, we're trying to accomplish something that hasn't been accomplished since the pre-Super Bowl era. I think it was the Green Bay Packers before we had Super Bowls, we had the NFL championship. And I think they might have had a three-peat back in the day.
There was one.
But, so we're in uncharted territory here. So the last thing you want to do is just try to say, okay, Kelce, go out here and do your thing. And just let's just run his wheels off and just ruin him before we get to the postseason. So I think offensively, we're right where we need to be. We want the offense to start off slowly and gradually escalate throughout the course of the year. Defensively, I was very frustrated at the end of that game. I'm not going to lie to you. And I was ready to give up when they started throwing all these flags. But the thing I like about the defense is that they were very poised. They did not give up. And Spagnuolo was just, he was out there calling what he needed to call. And these guys were just they were very calm in what they were doing out there. If I was in their shoes, I would have got very frustrated because they were just throwing flag. I felt like they were throwing flags.
Well, there was
Every play,
makeup,
like,
as you know, it was makeup calls for the missed call.
that's fine.
In the back of the end
yeah,
zone is what was going on.
That if you want to talk about makeup calls, that's a rabbit hole that I don't want to go down.
You and I met some NFL referees one time.
I don't want to go down.
No, you and I had an interview with referees one time, as a matter of fact, and you actually asked them point blank if they do makeup calls, and they said no, they would never do such a thing.
That's fine. I'm just saying, as a player, it's going to mess with your mind if you're getting all those flags thrown on you, and you have to have the alpha male mindset where, okay, I don't care about the past. I'm only focused about the future. And I'm sitting there as a fan, and I was going ape shit during that game. I was like, okay, well, what are these guys going to do? And they made the play. Yeah. So the defense made the play at the end of the game. They did not give up. So they sort of ignored those flags that were just thrown, and they ignored those last 2 to 3 plays, and they remain focused. And so that's my favorite part about the defense right now is, like, they don't really care about the past. They're going to remain focused on the job at hand. Yeah. And that's going to have a lot to do with, when we roll into the playoffs at the end of the season. Like, when you have that mindset, like that makes a big difference when you're talking about these big games at the end of the year.
Yeah, and it's a long ways from now. The playoffs are, obviously, but the thing is, Steve Spagnuolo has been part of this organization now for going on 5 years, and I think the respect that Steve Spagnuolo's earned throughout his time here is what gives players this early in the season that much confidence in everything he calls, and just the way he has guys lined up and ready to be prepared on week in, week out defensively. They don't second guess what he's calling. There was times when we had Bob Sutton on this defense running everything, where we had all of our guys on defense going, what the freaking hell are we doing? Why are we dropping Justin Houston in coverage against Antonio Brown? Just stupid shit like that.
Don't rush him.
Yeah, in a playoff game, let's drop Justin Houston in coverage, like a freaking idiot.
They'll never expect it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was Bob Sutton's mindset. And players question that because, first of all, he sucked as a coordinator. Spagnuolo, on the other hand, has earned his stripes, has called multiple.
He might be the GOAT.
He might be the GOAT defensive coordinator of all time. Because I'm going to tell you this right now: this Chiefs pass rush outside of Chris Jones is not great.
No,
you got a bunch of tryhards. The reason they are trying hard is probably because the coaching staff.
Yes,
I'm serious. I was, guys. We've all been fans for a long time. We were there during the Herm Edwards days and in the Todd Haley days. We saw what lackluster pass rush looks like when guys don't give a shit and they just are loafing out there. They don't give a shit because they don't trust you. They don't believe in you. They're just here to get a paycheck. These guys on our defense, every single play,
they look like they're actually
trying every single goddamn play. And even as a pass rusher, even if you're not as talented as some of the other guys out there in the league, you're going to try your ass off at least. You're not going to give up on a play and start loafing around. That's what Steve Spagnuolo gives to a team, is that confidence and respect as a coach. And so that's what makes him so special, in my opinion, is just that, he's done this now with multiple teams now at this point in his career. But, with this current Chiefs team, it's like, outside of Chris Jones, it's a lot to work with. And you're dialing up different blitzes. You've got to blitz Tamari Connor. You got to blitz other guys off the edge, and Nichols
come in the middle.
You got to blitz Bolton from time to time. Najee Johnson's going to be blitzing at times and stuff like that. I mean, mixing it up all the time to create different kinds of looks against the quarterback, especially in high pressure situations. And that's what makes this defense special, regardless of losing talent like L'Jarius Sneed or like Willie Gay that we've lost in the past, or, Colin Saunders, who's turned out to be a pretty good player for New Orleans, and that kind of thing. So that, at the end of the day, it's September still, man. And just wait. We've always talked about Steve Spagnuolo defenses being slow to progress, and then they pick it up at the right time. I mean, if you're starting off strong this much against the run and just making plays when they're mandatory, just wait till we get to December and January, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how this defense looks as long as everyone's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of shows you don't have Snead anymore, right?
Of course,
McDuffie's definitely no Snead, giving up some big plays there, but the best part is that we do got the support in the back end there. Nazee's been working in the safety range a little bit. Jaden Hicks is getting, or Joshua Williams, Justin Reed, Brian Cook getting a lot of action. I love the fact that our secondary is basically so young that they're adapting to life without Snead and adapting to that. Hey, we don't have one guy just locking down the number one receiver. We actually have to support, watch, when you're in the zone, look for the guys. So from that standpoint, but I love our linebackers. Pass rush is a big deal right now too. And I think Spags is doing it when he needs to do it.
Well, I wish I had the audio for you guys to play right now, but real quick, did you guys hear Todd McShay talking about Travis Kelce this morning?
Oh God. You just said Todd McShay.
Ooh,
I heard. So here's
funny.
what I heard. I heard rumblings of that, but more importantly, I heard that Stephen A. Smith and the Mad Dog went on a rant on First Take about Travis Kelce.
About Kelce. So you're saying everyone's ranting about Kelce now?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
everybody.
they're all hammering on it.
And the only thing you can do to shut these people up is just to have one trademark Travis Kelce game, and then they'll shut up for the next 6 weeks. So
that's true, which could happen against the Chargers coming up this weekend. So. Which Travis Kelce historically has always been good against the Chargers, just for the record. I mean, he's been good against everybody, but in particular, the Chargers, for some reason, he's played really well against in the past. But no, Todd McShay, I don't know if you have it pulled up, Tanner, or if you know where you're looking for it by any means. But McShay is basically saying Travis Kelce has been running around with his girlfriend too much. He's not sure if it's the politics. And he's been drinking too much, and he's getting out of shape. And he basically said those four things.
Drinking too much.
He basically said those four things is the issue with why Travis Kelce is now sucking as a tight end in his mind. So
let's see here. I wonder if this will go through for everybody.
So that tells me that Todd McShay actually saw him physically at the bar drinking too much, because if that's not the case, then now all of a sudden you're making up a story and pulling out your ass.
No, he said because at the U.S. Open he was drinking with Taylor Swift.
One time
he was drinking at the U.S. Open.
So one time in a calendar year he had something to drink, and now all of a sudden it's the end.
I think McShay has this idea in his head of Kelce's lifestyle, and just he feels like he can read between what you see outwardly. He knows what's going on behind the scenes too. Which and in McShay's mind, he's going, well, he's a party animal and he's drinking because Taylor Swift drinks and he's drinking, they're partying, they're getting hammered every day, and this kind of thing. And then, Mahomes is drinking Coors Lights which he drinks a lot of Coors Lights.
Let me ask you this question, because I think a lot. Okay.
You got to play it?
Go ahead.
Not allowed to say that he's out of shape, that he's been partying all off season. He's been jet setting around with the most famous person probably in the entire world. The coverage and the respect he gets is the same. The athlete is not. Now, is he going to work himself into shape during the season? Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's an unbelievable competitor. He's one of the best to ever do it, but he's not the same guy right now. I'm not blaming it on Taylor Swift. I'm not blaming anything. All I'm saying is when you win 2 Super Bowls, you've got the whole tour that happens after the Super Bowl. There's no one else doing more commercials, I don't think, in the league. I mean, he and Mahomes are up there, but I think Kelce's doing more commercials and things. He's been at more events, doing more things socially. It's impossible to carry that schedule and still put in the same amount of time for football.
So that clip did cut off the beginning, which talks about what I talked about, what he was saying.
Oh, it did?
It cut that part off, yes.
So the easy narrative for me is that we want to ask the question, is Kelce washed? Okay, that's the easy narrative.
Yeah.
If I want to do a more deep dive into the situation, is it more that Travis Kelce is washed? Or is it more that Todd McShay is washed? Because he's been around for a while. He's a guy that's probably looking to get more clicks than Mel Kiper Jr., and it's probably not happening for him right now. So what's the best thing that you could do to get more clicks is just like make up some random shit about Travis Kelce drinking too much, which is totally baseless. I mean, like, it's just he's just making it up and pulling it out of his ass.
Well, the thing is, Travis Kelce's always been a drinking guy. That's no news. That's not new news.
I know, but are you guys a Todd McShay fan?
No,
I'm not a McShay fan or Mel Kiper fan.
So at some point, at what point does Todd McShay become the guy that is actually washed, and he's trying to just draw more attention to himself? I think it's a higher probability that Todd McShay is washed more than Travis Kelce is washed. And you guys know that I love to just pounce on guys. When you want to talk about the NBA and LeBron or whoever you want to bring up, I love to pounce on guys as players when they get washed.
I do got your clip.
I'm not pouncing on Travis Kelce right now, but I don't know what McShay is talking about. I just think it's clickbait more than anything.
I do got your clip. If Mike doesn't mind me playing a little bit of it.
You can play it.
This is Stephen A. and Mad Dog.
Having quite the slow start through 3 games. Kelce has only 69 receiving yards and has yet to see the end zone.
Oh, he sucks.
This has been Kelce's lowest production in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns through his first 3 games in his career. Mahomes, Patrick, you concerned?
It's crazy because teams still, the respect factor they have for Travis is just unreal. It's well deserved, but we're calling a lot of plays for Travis, and it's like 2 or 3 people are going to him. I think the more Rashid makes plays, the more we're able to run the football, the more we can get Worthy involved. I think that's going to open Travis up more. People are really emphasizing trying to take him away, and it's getting other guys open.
All right, Stephen A., does Mahomes need Travis?
Yeah, so to some people's point about what Mahomes was saying there, though, Kelsey's been getting double covered and even at times triple over the whole course of most of his career. So it's like nothing new that's going on.
Go ask another big tight end how he's doing the season too, who's getting double, triple covered. Mark Andrews with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, well,
they're aware of these tight ends now. These defenses.
Here's what I'm confused about. So I did just pull up one quote at least from McShay's opinion of Kelce back in 2013 out of the draft. He did say he's explosive and can get down the field of the top 5 or 6 tight ends. He's probably the best blocker. So in my mind, if you're Todd McShay, you said he's probably the best blocker of this entire draft class in 2013. You should be happy because he's blocking more, actually. Travis Kelce's actually spending more time blocking than ever before, as a matter of fact. So McShay, I think he's doing his goddamn job. So that's what I would go with if I was Todd McShay.
Look, there's a big support piece here. This is a non-issue, non-story. And it's only a story because Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and the whole there's whole political blame going on. There's
McShay
a whole
is bringing politics into his opinions.
Yes, he is.
He's bringing politics into his opinions.
It's the stupidest thing. By the way, I'll play a little bit of your clip here.
Kelce to be great to 3-peat.
Hell yes. Hell yes. First of all, remember last year they dropped 44 passes. Led the NFL. Let's get that out the way first. Secondly, when you've got an elite tight end, that's your security blanket. We all know this. Yeah, we look at Pacheco running the football, and we understand how that sets things up, but particularly in play action, and it does wonders for the Kansas City Chiefs. We understand that. But the reality is that Travis Kelce is a future Hall of Fame tight end. Somehow, some way, he's always open. He is Mr. Reliable. And we got to remember, went 7 straight years with 1,000+ yards receiving. Last year would have been 8 if he hadn't missed 2 games. He only came 16 shy of 8 straight years of having over 1,000 yards receiving, okay? He's a primary target for Patrick Mahomes. When you saw one receiver after another dropping passes, Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling last year and stuff like that, who did you go to? You went to Travis Kelce. You found a way, okay? When you were nose diving in the Super Bowl, when San Francisco seemed to be pulling away, and people like you were running around talking about how Travis Kelce should have gotten in trouble for shoving Andy Reid and all of this nonsense. It was just emotion getting into the mix. Get me the damn ball. That's what he was talking about. Why? Because he's Travis Kelce. That's why. And the reality is that when you look at him now, you don't see what you're accustomed to seeing. I do, our old buddy Todd McShay pointed out, like, it might have been part a little bit too much. I'm not going to accuse him of that, getting into all of his business. But it's fair to say there was a lot going on in the life of Travis Kelce.
That would have been the smartest thing I've ever heard Stephen A. Smith say.
It was fine.
Yeah, it's rare for him to come out with
that
something
was actually
more
really logical.
He's evolved. He's evolved in such a way that he actually knows something about the NFL. Where
it was amazing.
He used to not know shit about the NFL.
That's huge.
I do want to bring out one point real quick with you guys, is that he's 35 years old now. He's played more games than any other tight end in the NFL since 2014. Because he's playing in the playoffs every single season. And he's actually played in 22 playoff games. That's a full extra season plus some of work on your body.
That's insane.
And, of course, in those 22 playoff games, 1,900 yards, 19 touchdowns, of course, along the way. And, it's just the stats are in 165 catches.
It's the same thing as LeBron James.
165 catches.
He's LeBron James.
22 games.
What do we always say about LeBron
after
James?
a full season,
He's played 2 or 3
extra season.
Yes. Full seasons.
So
that you're talking about the same thing. So why would we not expect him to just take some time off? Can we just limit his looks? You know,
and
I
have to run him out right away.
Mahomes is saying the right thing and say, "Oh, he's double teamed, he's triple teamed." Well, that's always been the case, but you want to put that out there, and you want that to be the narrative until like maybe week 13, 14, 15.
Sure.
Try to ramp him up, and then when you run into the playoff situation, now he's going to run up everyone's ass because everybody thinks he's washed.
You want to keep
the
him
perfect narrative for
healthy
him.
for the down stretch of the season when things really matter. You know,
I think honestly, what you're seeing today is the offense and Patrick Mahomes basically adjusting to an actual receiver core for one, for God's sakes.
Well, what do they have, Tanner?
Xavier Worthy and
That's
Rashee Rice.
No, that's what I mean. They had Rashee Rice last year.
Yeah.
So the only new piece that we have on
but
this
now you have
roster
a
is
veteran Rashee Rice coming into play.
Yes.
A guy that's taken the one spot.
But what I'm saying is there's nothing else there.
You got Juju, man. Come on.
Well,
don't
you're
shortchange
working
Juju,
it,
man.
He had his first catch last week.
And a touchdown.
But that was an amazing catch.
But look, it's working with what you got new piece wise, and also the adjustment of
this
working.
Is not a
Rashee
revamped
Rice.
receiver room, Tanner. Hollywood Brown's not here.
That's fine.
I'm just letting
But
you
you
know.
do got Juju back. You do that is an adjustment.
He's had 1 catch or 2 catches.
Justin
now.
Watson hasn't got the ball much.
2 catches a game again.
And then Xavier Worthy. You're working in Xavier Worthy. There is no rush.
He's got 6
There
catches.
is no rush going to Travis Kelce right now. There's no need to go to Travis Kelce right now. There's no need for it at zero at all. You need to learn to live without Travis Kelce in this whole wide receiver room.
I agree with that to an extent, but then we need to get more Noah Gray. You know, we need to get more Noah Gray involved.
But you're not trying to go to the tight end. You're trying to go for the short passes. That's all they're doing. Is short passes.
That's what Noah Gray does.
No, I'm saying you're not going to Noah Gray because you're going to the receivers. You're going for speed. That's what they're doing right now in the offense.
Whatever. We need to go to guys that get open because Patrick Mahomes is not playing well.
Well, he needs to look for guys open.
No, I think there's some guys open out there. I think even Travis Kelce was open.
Worthy was open too downfield, just like you wanted.
Well, Worthy was open, but I think even Travis Kelce has been open more than we realized.
I will tell you with Worthy, I think you're going to see more and more each week out of him because I see less and
a ramp
less.
up with him too.
I see less.
He does.
I see less and less of him at the baccarat tables each week, which means he's going to be ramping up in that fucking wide receiver.
You guys
room.
do realize Xavier Worthy is our number 2 receiver.
Yes, he is. Yes,
like he is our number 2.
Absolutely.
And he's already surpassed Rashee Rice's numbers through 3 games. So since last year. And last year,
based off from last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From last year. Yeah. So
we'll see how he finishes compared to Rashee Rice from last year.
Yeah.
So.
If
he could put up Rashee Rice numbers from what he's
from last year,
then we have.
Could you imagine Rashee Rice and Worthy just throwing up numbers like that?
No, we didn't hardly play Rashee Rice in the first few games last year.
Who needs Kelce with that?
So, anyways, man,
there's zero worry.
There's some things to figure out, of course, along the way, and I do not want to see Rashee Rice get banged up. I think 14 targets a game is not consistent. You can't do that every week. We're going to have to rely on Kelce and some other options to get open. And to actually have Mahomes throw him the ball.
He needs to find him.
So it's up to Mahomes.
To me,
guys, did you guys see this
back
stat?
to a Mahomes issue?
Patrick Mahomes has the lowest yards per attempt in the NFL this season.
He had
lowest
5.2 last year or last week, and now he's 5.8
for the season. Yeah, that's the lowest in the NFL of all quarterbacks. And that's not Mahomes, man. That's not what he's all about. That's not what we saw in training camp, Tanner.
No.
Training camp was bombs away.
Yes.
No, we're working on the deep threat. Work on the deep ball.
Hey,
yes.
You know what it is?
The loss of Hollywood Brown better not be Vinny Pasquantino. Come on, this is not the same thing.
You know what this is? It's what did that guy say? Cover 2, man. It's all cover 2. It's no fun. It's no fun anymore.
We should make fun of
no fun anymore.
McShay and Mel Kiper in the same show.
No fun anymore, man.
Yeah. I loved. You guys hear?
Ban it.
You guys hear what Aaron Rodgers said? About cover 2. Yes. He goes, he said something about some pass he made. He's like, yeah, they were running Mel Kiper's worst nightmare, the cover 2.
He was making fun of it.
2 safeties deep.
That was the best thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's all cover 2, man. It's no fun anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's the offensive job to figure it out. So, oh man. Anyways, guys, so we didn't really dive into the Chiefs-Chargers matchup too much this week.
I'll give you a quick injury report.
Tanner, do the injury report, and then we'll do our picks.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Only injury report for the Chiefs: Nick Bolton, Derek Nottie, Rasheed Rice, Jalen Watson,
Everyone's good to
all
go.
full practice, ready to go.
That's right.
The Chargers are a whole different story, man. Joe Alt,
Well,
the
it's the same story, different year.
yeah, correct. Joe Alt, the outstanding tackle rookie right now, he has a knee issue. He did not practice today. Joey Bosa, no surprise there, did not practice today. Let's see here. Limited. Christian Fulton was limited. Justin Herbert was limited. Aiden Hurst was limited. Khalil Mack had a rest day, so that was an issue. Joshua Palmer was limited. Rashawn Slater did not practice with a pectoral injury, and that looks like the big names. What is
Tanner? It's the same story, just a different year.
LA?
Oh, and then Derwin James, guys.
Derwin James
suspended for the game.
For
Derwin James.
A bullshit call.
Which that means Travis Kelce overs on your bets.
You don't even have Justin Herbert's probably not going to play either. So who cares about that?
He'll try to
he's
play.
limited.
He's going to try to play.
Yeah.
He tried to play last week and they get pulled out. So
he had to come out.
They're not going to let him play. Dude.
Here's the thing: if you got Chris Jones coming after you up the middle and you got a high ankle sprain, like what are you freaking doing?
You're 2-1, right? You got a winning record. You're going against the Chiefs. Don't risk a game like this potentially for Herbert being out.
Don't destroy Herbert at this point. I mean, so far he's played well.
Yes.
Just don't destroy his damn season.
Like if you let the
bring back Chase Daniel, let him play a couple games.
You tell Herbert's going to tell you he's going to play, right? And
well, that's what most competitors would do.
Correct. And if you let him out there and let's say the ankle gets worse, then let's say he's out 6 games. Well, now you blew your playoff chances. So
yeah. I would not be putting him up against Chris Jones, especially with an injured offensive line.
And George
Karlaftis too. Don't do that. Don't do that, Chargers.
So,
don't screw your own ass, basically. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and make some picks. This is in LA, if that matters to you at all. But then again, the Chiefs do a pretty good job of owning LA.
If you guys want it, -7.5 right now, Chiefs favored.
I saw -8, but do 7.5 if you can get it.
7.5 on Pinnacle. So over 30.
Pinnacle, what the fuck is that?
That's you know what the hell Pinnacle is? You remember OddsJam? That's the book they compare stuff to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. BetMGM over 39.5 is your over under. So
okay. Well, JJ, do you want to go
30?
first?
Did you say 39?
39.5.
That's not the over under.
Yes. Full time, 39.5.
Hey, Shane.
All right. Well, I can actually work with that because I'm going to go.
That's your over under.
So before he said that,
I must have looked at that wrong the other day.
Before he said that, I had 27-10 Chiefs.
I saw.
Now I'm thinking about going back down to 24-10 Chiefs because I don't believe anybody that says Herbert's going to play. I think you guys are full of shit. So I don't think that guy's going to play. We already know Derwin James is out, and it's to me it's a 24-10, maybe 27-10. Let's go. I'm going to go official 27-10. Chiefs, and this game is going to be pretty ugly.
All right, I'm going to hit him right on the dot basically on this one. I like 27-13 Chiefs in this one, so I will barely nudge the over on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys there. I'll go 30-10.
30-10.
Yeah.
So you're still into 40, I guess.
Yeah.
So 10. Okay. Well, I could see it, man. What'd you just do?
I think
did you hear that too?
We're live on air. This is like coming.
Hey, remember that one time? Remember that one time?
Oh, I remember that one time.
That was
3 years ago.
That was amazing.
Back in my apartment.
I don't know what the hell just happened right now. But I think
let's
you
just hope
guys are
not
full of some bullshit.
Let's hope that's not a bad omen
we got better mics though this time.
Let's hope that's not a bad omen, for the Chiefs game. So
I don't know what that was, man.
Anyways, guys, look, I'm glad. Also, this game's at 3 whatever o'clock. So
3:30. Yeah.
Good. Thank goodness. I can't stand the late games, man. They drive me nuts these days. I'm old. Can't deal with it anymore.
3:25.
All right, guys. Well, now that we got that out of the way, we'll see how things go. Let's jump in real quick to just some casual NFL talk. And what I mean by casual, you guys, this is not anything we've talked about beforehand. We're just sitting here chit-chatting. We're going to spend about 10 minutes total on this before we get to our easy money bet of the week. But guys, what are your thoughts so far in the NFL this so far season, seeing passing terrible. It's confusion everywhere. Tanner, you had the greatest thing of all time. You showed me about how the NFL is drunk, or someone sent that to me. We have Sam Darnold was your MVP until
that was like 3 years ago.
Well, until Josh Allen
had
his game.
Josh Allen's a bum, dude.
Oh, Josh Allen's coming back.
Okay. Well,
he's coming.
No, basically
nothing.
all of the weird things in the NFL. The Steelers are 3-0. And just some things that have gone on so far to this point in the league in 3 weeks. Guys, what is your shouted out opinion of the NFL for the first 2 weeks of the season? Anything?
WTF?
You got to talk about your boy, Sam Darnold. You have to.
Look, Darnold's out
Another
here
choice.
proving. I mean, we'll find out what he is this week.
Dude, his passes look sharp.
They look great.
I'm saying his ball placement is something I've always cared about the most. His ball placement is terrific.
That's way better than freaking what he was in Carolina when he was on his game.
Was with the Jets in Carolina. I mean,
I can't believe it.
His ball placement is wild, man.
Like Justin Jefferson's
the
actually
change.
getting what he needs right where he needs it.
And he got the game ball in the locker room. If you guys saw the highlight after that game ball, the entire team was there applauding. They were so freaking happy for him.
They're impressed.
They've given him the he's given them the confidence.
I think another big thing to shout out too is who would have thought Malik Willis back-to-back weeks would have won games, would have been the quarterback that he was. Was Vrabel that overrated with his staff that couldn't figure out what Malik Willis actually was?
Well, there was one power ranking, Tanner, that said the Titans were the worst team in the league.
Well, Miami's about to join them, so it's pretty bad there. By the way, how bad is Bryce Young? I think he's pretty bad after last week, because we know Carolina. They went out and bought players. They got guys.
Man, we were at the draft in Kansas City when he was taken first overall,
and we were.
Well, even then, like none of us were believers by any means. Like, I'm going to say I didn't think CJ Stroud was going to be like a great player out the gate, like he proved last year. I like CJ Stroud over Bryce Young at the time. Yeah. I thought the Bryce Young pick, especially the trade up to get him, was wild.
Yeah,
that shocked me.
All those guys,
that didn't make any sense to me. The amount that they gave up and DJ Moore and everything else. I'm like, man, what are you doing? And didn't make any sense whatsoever. So, anyways, I'm not surprised it's not working.
You know, last year too, Andy Dalton had the best passing game for the Carolina Panthers on his one game while Bryce was out with an injury.
Well,
and look what he is.
Andy Dalton's just one of those guys, I guess. Maybe he's a great backup, but not your ideal starter. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of storylines. Obviously the AFC North being as bad as that is right now, record wise at least. Bengals stink, Browns stink. The Ravens have not looked good. The Steelers, surprisingly, with Justin Fields, have looked the best among those four. And I did not see I think I had Steelers higher than last place, but I did not see a Steelers team out beating these guys in the division right now.
But the Steelers defense is the reason primarily why. I mean, the guys right now, they have the best defense in the league. They've allowed 0 rushing touchdowns. They're averaging like 3 yards a carry on the ground. I mean, they are just dominant. And TJ Watt, of course, is TJ Watt. Man, the guy's freaking amazing. And has been.
Yeah, he is.
That's one of those things. As long as he's healthy, which is sometimes rare, the guy's an animal. And it's right where he left off, is just back there wrecking havoc again. So, Steelers defense is legit, but Justin Fields looked a lot better than he did in Chicago.
Oh yeah, way better than Chicago. But still, I don't think he's the right guy right now. And then finally, Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron freaking Rodgers.
I was happy to see that. I was happy to see that for one.
It took 3 games. They got him there. Obviously a warm up, not playing for basically the whole season.
Last week was finally the week where I go, that's the Rodgers I know. Some of those passes, I was like, okay, that's the guy.
In his interview with Pat, he's like, I felt like me, finally.
Well, he looked like himself.
Yeah, he did.
That was nice.
And if he's like that, watch out.
Well,
watch out.
I hope he is, man. He's good for the sport.
He is. He's great for the sport.
Great quarterback, and he's good for the sport. Because you know why? There's a lot of shitty quarterbacks in this league.
So much
a lot of shitty
QB
quarterbacks,
play, dude.
And so when you have great ones, you want to hold on to them for as long as possible.
Baker Mayfield returning back to form. He left Cleveland in last week.
Hang on. Let's give it, Tanner. Give it.
I know everybody has bad games.
It's week 3.
I know.
It's week 3.
It was just rough watching some of these quarterback play. Anthony Richardson stinks, by the way. I don't care what any of you guys say.
I told you guys that a year ago.
Freaking bum. I know
I don't know why you guys are surprised by that.
I'm not fully surprised.
I tried to tell you that a year ago.
I don't know why they let Gardner Minshew go. Jason, what's your story? I mean, what do you got, man?
I'm never surprised when somebody sucks. So whoever you think that sucks, whether it be Trevor Lawrence, I could throw that out there as a hot take because
that's a rough one,
very,
Mike. Huh?
Very easy to say that guy freaking sucks.
Mike had him high this
probably
year,
does,
too.
or maybe his coach sucks.
Yeah, you did.
Last year.
No, you said coming in the offseason, you're like, I think he's going to return to mold this year.
I was drunk.
You probably were.
I said that last year.
No, you said it this offseason, dude.
I feel like the Jaguars
Yeah,
is an easy Jaguars an easy situation to just hate on right now. I'm not going to go there. I want to talk about Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams.
Let's
and
go, Jaden.
My question, and I think the national narrative right now is like, did the Chicago Bears make a mistake in drafting him? And I don't think they did. I think what they made a mistake in is how they handled the coaching situation over all these years. So they messed it up with Justin Fields. They probably messed it up with what was the other guy's name? I don't know. The Mitch Trubisky.
Oh.
So you got all these quarterbacks. You got Mitch Trubisky, you got Justin Fields, now you got Caleb Williams. You got a bunch of horrible freaking coaches that whole time. And I just think about it as like, what's the worst thing that you could do with a rookie quarterback? You could make them learn 2 to 3 different offenses in their first few years. So that's how I think about Justin Fields.
Well, think about Geno Smith. The same thing went down with him.
Exactly.
He's now 32 years old, playing his best of his career.
Exactly. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. These are the guys I'm talking about. And so I don't think the Bears messed up the pick. I think they got the pick right. They messed up their organization on the fact that they should have gotten rid of Eberflus last year. Now, all of a sudden, he's locked into this year, and Caleb Williams is sitting there. He's going to have a bad year. Like, okay, let's just not mess around here. That Caleb Williams is going to play like crap the entire year. The Bears are going to play like crap the total year. And it's going to be Matt Eberflus's fault. And why didn't we get rid of him before this year? Because the best thing that you can do when you're bringing in a rookie quarterback is start him off fresh with a coach that you know is going to be there at least 2 to 3 years versus throwing that guy in there. And now all of a sudden we know Eberflus is going to get fired after this year. We know that Caleb Williams is going to have a new coach next year. He might have a new coach after that, 2 years after that. And so I'm trying to figure out what is the best way for the NFL to get rid of these situations where we ruin quarterbacks' careers. Why did we ruin or try to ruin guys like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold? Now we're trying to ruin Caleb Williams. We didn't have to do that, but we have organizations like the Chicago Bears that don't know what the hell they're doing. So, like, let's just start these guys off fresh and not ruin their careers, which is exactly what the Bears are doing right now. And it kind of pisses me off because, you know, some guys make it past that point. Like, you can have a guy like a Sam Darnold and a Geno Smith that push through, that overcome the bullshit that they had to deal with.
But normally
early in their
broken.
career.
Normally these guys are broken by the time they come out of that situation.
Oh yeah, and sometimes they're broken. And I feel like guys like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, they've overcome that situation. We don't know if that's going to happen to Caleb Williams. He might fold, and it's not going to be his fault. It's going to be the Chicago Bears' fault for drafting him and putting him in with Matt Eberflus, who, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to fire him next year. So get ready, because we're going to force you to learn a new offense next year. And then, oh, by the way, 2 years from now, you're going to have to learn another offense on top of that. And we're just going to totally mind fuck you the entire way. And we hope you enjoyed the ride. We hope you enjoyed the tiny little amount of money that you made along the way, because your career is totally fucked.
And then he'll go to Dallas to replace Dak Prescott.
Yep. Look, we could talk about Eberflus being an issue. We could talk about Waldron coming in being an issue, because it kind of is an issue. You bought talent, put so much talent around this guy, and this guy came in with so much confidence from college, so much in the preseason. He goes, oh yeah, no, I'm not nervous. I'm not doing anything. Obviously, there's no performance happening from him. Shit the bed and still won at 93 yards the first game against the Titans.
Had his first touchdown last week, Tanner.
Yeah, I know.
As a
3 weeks in.
quarterback.
3 weeks in.
As a quarterback.
It's insane. And by the way, all rookies, that was the first time any rookie threw a touchdown in 3 weeks. Nobody threw one in week 1 or week 2. So that's insane. That's insane for rookie quarterbacks. I think right now there's
I thought Jaden Daniels played pretty dang good.
I think I don't think it's a mistake. I don't think Caleb Williams was a mistake. That was the right pick. You had to go with that pick at that situation at that time. Plain and simple, right? You had to go.
He probably
Caleb
was
Williams.
the right pick. I think the way he's I want not to steal any thunder, but this is going to roll into what I want to say real quick for two of my things I want to talk about. I totally 100,000% agree with what Tom Brady said about the way quarterbacking is being handled in today's game. They're not getting proper training. They're not getting proper coaching. And they're also being, in a lot of ways, forced into these situations. And they're also dumbing it down for them rather than letting them figure out ways to make the game smarter and figure out ways to, well, help themselves in a lot of ways for what's going to develop their own mind for the game rather than
are they
dumbing it down
for certain quarterbacks though?
No, not for certain. Well, for rookies.
You think all rookie quarterbacks?
All rookie quarterbacks. Drake May sucks ass. Mac Jones sucked ass a couple years ago.
Drake May doesn't suck ass.
Tanner, these quarterbacps, these rookie quarterbacks.
You don't even know. You haven't seen Drake May play an NFL game yet.
I'm saying they're not going to do anything. What I'm saying is it's not going to go anywhere. This is not the kind of system you want to be a part of within quarterbacking these days, because it is you're tossed out there and we're going to call play calls that we think you can handle, rather than getting you prepared properly then run a full offense.
Why'd you rope Drake May?
I'm just using him in there because
there's no example. He's the one sitting on the bench right now.
Well, we saw him in preseason.
All right, yeah. Well, we saw Caleb Williams in preseason. We saw how much shitty he is. So
we saw him in regular season too. It's the same guy.
It's not the same guy. It's a worse caliber player than what we saw in preseason.
Well, Drake May is probably worse too. So
these guys are just getting the bottom line is these quarterbacks are getting rushed in too fast. And
I don't think so.
They are. Tanner,
I think you got to be ready.
They are.
Tanner.
No.
This is the whole reason. If you're drafted 1 overall,
we saw the blueprint.
in the NFL is the most difficult position in all of sports.
Yes, I agree on that.
I want to tell you guys, to play it at an elite level, it is the most difficult position in all of
where
sports.
Your value
in the
is,
NFL.
You have to start. That's
not how this works.
We saw the blueprint.
That is how it works in value.
No, we need to look. What did we do with Patrick Mahomes?
So Tanner,
Andy Reid had.
We saw the blueprint. Okay,
we saw the blueprint.
Stop talking about Mahomes.
I'm aware.
Go back to Tom Brady.
I'm aware of this.
He sat behind Drew Bledsoe.
But was he a 1 pick?
Was he a 1 pick? 24 years ago.
Was he a 1 pick? A 1 overall pick?
Ago.
No, he was a 6th-round bum.
Tom Brady
sat behind him
and ended up Drew Bledsoe. Okay,
congratulations.
The blueprint happened.
The value. His value wasn't high.
The blueprint happened 24 years ago.
If he had played right away, he would not have been the same player.
Yeah, a 6th-round player.
I don't care what example you want to use. You can use Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe. You can use Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre,
Jamarcus,
Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith. I don't care what example you want to use. With that, the blueprint was set.
Joe Montana and Steve Young.
Well, then nobody should draft a quarterback. Shouldn't be allowed in the first round.
30 years ago. So what was that? 30 years ago.
40 years ago.
So you talked about a 6th-round quarterback to a first overall quarterback.
Can we stop jumping the gun?
No.
And say, okay, here's
if
the
your
blueprint.
value is top 10 in the NFL draft, you're starting. You're a starter.
Tanner,
you draft starters.
You don't have to do it.
You draft starters.
No.
Then why didn't they do it with Mahomes?
Tanner, not as a quarterback.
Why didn't they do that with
Because Mahomes wasn't a top 10 pick.
Yes, he was. He was literally the 10th overall pick.
Okay, right there.
Tanner, the quarterback.
Because you already had a quarterback
not
in.
the same thing.
You don't draft. You don't draft a 1 overall to sit on the bench.
So let me get this straight.
You
no, you don't.
So if you have the right game plan, you do.
From a value standpoint, you don't.
Do you enjoy it?
Value standpoint.
You have 5 years of the guy, right?
Tanner, do you enjoy it when they throw in rookie quarterbacks and they just get ruined?
He loves
value standpoint.
Do you get some enjoyment out of that?
In the top 10, you got to play him right away. Throw him
because
out.
I don't enjoy
starters in the top 10.
I don't enjoy when you throw a quarterback in there with a tremendous amount of talent.
Situations differ, but if
don't
you draft
like
a guy
when
number 1 overall,
gets
nobody else is in front of you.
You're valuing the draft way too much at that point.
And you know what
so
they
who
do?
are you
They
starting
get bent
over Caleb right now?
You need to have a veteran.
Enjoy that.
You don't.
I know,
I
but
don't
you should.
enjoy it.
That's bad management. That's
well,
bad.
First off,
management.
we are talking about the Bears here.
I'm telling
why
you. Why
do you guys?
He didn't need to be a starter right away.
No, if you start at 1, you're
Tanner.
starting.
Why do you like guys getting ruined? Did you enjoy when Andrew Luck's career got ruined?
It didn't get ruined.
As
He
an
had
elite
a great
quarterback?
career until he got.
Oh,
until
he
the
had a
end of
great
the
career,
line. He had
didn't
a
he?
great career.
Until they ruined it, right?
Well, that's management, dude. And by the way, he should have started.
I'm trying to figure out
I'm
why
confused.
why
I'm
do you
confused.
enjoy
So you guys think?
why do you enjoy
you guys,
throwing
no,
rookie
no,
quarterbacks
no,
in to ruin their careers?
No, Jason. No, Jason.
I
That's
think
not,
you need to sit in their
that's
shoes.
not what it is.
Walk a mile
That's
in their
not-
shoes
that's not
for
what
one
it
day.
is. You're-
Oh,
you're
wait
s-
a minute. No, you were never going to do
you're
that because
speaking-
you never had that much talent.
You're putting a point in through my mouth saying I enjoy ruining people. I enjoy saying value needs to be put in. If I draft a guy
Tanner,
number one
it's
overall,
quarterbacking in
and
the
I don't
NFL.
have a
John
vet,
The most
you want to throw
difficult-
value in
the
there
most
like that?
difficult position
Okay,
in all of sports.
John
It
Elway
takes time to
played like
develop.
crap.
Tanner,
John Elway played like
are we
crap
are
in
we
his rookie
talking
year.
The most
100 years ago
Tanner,
right now
And
already?
he was one of the few
complex
that
position
overcame.
in all of
I'm aware of
sports.
this.
John
most
Elway
complex
But you don't
overcame
draft
it
a guy number
somehow,
one overall.
but
Tanner,
they
it is the
tried to
most
ruin
com-
his
you
career.
don't
want a
draft a guy number one
21-year-old.
overall.
You want a
There
21-year-old
is a
to run
value
your
pick.
offense. No,
Yes,
there's
it's
nothing to
value.
do with it.
There is value.
Tanner, there's nothing to
If
do with
I
it.
draft a guy number one,
You have a
I am
21-year-old.
starting the guy.
You have a 21-year-old, 22-year-old coming in as quarterback. They are
Don't
not
draft him.
able to have
Don't
the
draft
mental
him.
capacity to take in everything.
Let me tell you
you're
what's gonna
drafting a
happen.
starter.
Being a quarterback
a starter.
in the NFL
I don't
and being
care.
great
I'm
at it.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
care if
tell
he's
you- I'm gonna
quarterback,
tell you what's gonna
receiver,
happen.
defensive line, defensive
I'm gonna
tackle.
make a
Tuck to Scarsy.
prediction.
Josh Allen sucked his first year.
I'm
too.
going to make a prediction
Josh Allen
right
still
now.
sucks this year.
I'm going to make a prediction right now. And this guy
You
over
guys think the
here,
Bears
this
should have
guy is
fixed
going to
the
be
offensive
somebody
line?
who's going to vote for
They
this.
kind of did.
Shedeur Sanders is going to get drafted by the Carolina
It's
Panthers
frozen.
next year. He's going to play like shit, and his career is going to be ruined. And this guy's going to freaking love it.
He's going to enjoy
He's
it.
going to love it.
You
Because
know what?
he
You know
loves
why?
it when
He's
people
gonna say,
they-
"Well,
they're-
he was a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
He was a top 3 pick. So, he deserved it. Oh yeah, that's
Who,
great."
who are you talking about?
Shedeur
He's
Sanders.
using an example.
That
Tanner.
guy's gonna blow.
He's going to get drafted by the
It don't
Panthers
matter.
next year.
This doesn't
and
matter for that.
People like
This-
you,
No,
He's
no,
using it as
no,
an
no,
example.
no.
Listen
no,
to me.
no,
people
no,
like
no.
you,
No,
people
no,
like you are going
no.
to say, "Oh, throw him into the starting lineup."
It was a top
throw
3
him
pick.
into the
You-
starting lineup.
you-
Oh, now all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, his career's over.
Do you know
now,
why?
is his career over?
Do you know why
Let
that's
me
such a
ask you
bad
the
example?
why. Let me ask you that why question. It's
You
because
know-
people like Tanner say, "Throw him in there right now."
Do you know why that's such
don't
a bad
let him
example?
sit behind.
You know why that's such a bad example?
Oh, they're all bad examples.
No, you know
to
why
you.
that one
They're all
specifically
bad
is?
examples to you because you don't understand.
No.
You don't
No.
understand why careers get
I
ruined.
understand when careers get ruined.
No, you don't.
Because they get put into horrendous situations.
Yes.
Horrendous situations.
As a rookie,
Guess what? You
Where they
get
shouldn't
drafted
be.
to the
But yet
Bears
people like
without
you want to
change.
throw them in there anyway.
You're already destined for failure. You get
But-
drafted to the
but why-
Raiders without change. You're destined
No.
for failure.
Tanner, didn't Carson Palmer not change the Bengals at one time? Yeah, they never won a Super Bowl, but
Yeah, they got-
that Bengals team was actually a pretty good team for
They
a while.
were.
with Carson
Stop
Palmer.
throwing guys in
Carson Palmer was the
there.
number 1 overall
It's
pick.
still
He changed the
situations.
franchise.
It's still
He
situations.
started early, even.
Yeah, well, he was a good
Stop
quarterback.
throwing guys in there.
Shedeur
to be
Sanders is
ruined.
going to suck ass because his dad's going to make him start
Okay.
the games.
Well, you're going to come up with some other excuse, but the real reason is because
that's
they
why.
threw him in there in
no,
his
it's
rookie
not.
year.
It's not because
He didn't have
it's
a
not because of
chance.
that. He has to start because his dad's going to throw a
So,
fit, and he's going to.
you disagree. You disagree with the
cares what
blueprint
Dion
of
says?
Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith.
No, I don't.
Rodgers
I
sitting
don't.
behind Brett
I
Favre.
don't.
Tom Brady sitting
I
behind
don't.
Drew Bledsoe.
I don't.
You disagree
I
with that
don't.
whole premise.
I don't.
Then why you wanted all these guys just thrown
Because
in
they
there?
have to. There's
No, they don't.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm confused right now of who's starting over Caleb Williams.
What do you think? Hey,
None of them have to do that.
what do you think they're doing in Atlanta
Jesus.
right now with Michael Penix Jr. behind Kirk Cousins? Do you think they're
Do
doing
you think
that
there's
for
a Kirk
fun?
Cousins on the
Do
Bears
you
right
think
now?
they're doing that
You think
for
there's
fun?
a Kirk Cousins on
This
the
guy
Bears?
is sitting right here. Oh, that's just for fun.
Oh,
well,
my
we
God.
really like Kirk Cousins, but we think Michael Penix is
Hold on.
he
Hold
should
on.
probably
Hold
start
on.
right now.
Chicago Bears.
So they just let's
No.
just have 2 quarterbacks
But
right
here's
now. No, they're smart. Do you know why they're smart?
People are
Tanner?
sleeping in this house.
Do you
Shut
know why
your
they're
ass.
smart?
God.
You don't like it.
No,
You don't-
Jason,
you
you're
don't
not
like-
listening to me.
Listen to me
You're
right
not
now.
listening to me.
You disagree with what the Falcons are
I
doing
don't.
right now.
Yes, I know. I don't. No, I love what the Falcons are doing.
Thank you.
Because you've
Thank
got
you.
$100 million
Did I-
quarterback, a vet quarterback.
So I finally convinced you that the blueprint works.
No, you didn't.
The-
I tell you the blueprint works because I know it works.
I can't do this.
But
The blueprint works.
who are you starting
So
ahead
why
of
would
Caleb
you
Williams?
deviate?
Tanner,
Let
it's
me
not a-
ask you a question right now. If you know that the blueprint works,
No.
why would you deviate from the
Jason.
blueprint?
Jason.
We need to look at this.
No.
Yes, we do.
Who are you starting ahead of Caleb Williams?
Quit asking the wrong question.
It's not the wrong question.
It's the wrong question.
Because that doesn't equal the situation.
By his
By
definition,
your definition, we're starting
Michael
Tyson
Penix
Bagent
Jr. should be starting
his
right
spot.
now, and we're going to ruin his career, Mike.
No. By definition, right
Mike,
now.
what do you think about that?
From what
Would you
you
like
two
to
are
just
saying-
start Michael Penix
what
Jr.
you
right
two
now
are
and
saying-
ruin the hell out of his
What
career?
you two are saying.
Throw it away.
No,
Throw it in the trash.
Kirk Cousins is the absolute. This is the way you want to run the program. This is what you want to run a franchise. Have a vet like Kirk Cousins, your starter, where you don't have to worry about it. Michael Penis sits under behind him. Caleb Williams has Tyson Bagent
Did
behind
you just
him.
call him Michael Penis?
I did. I'm not a fan of him. But look, Tyson Bagent is number 2 to Caleb. So we're going to put in Tyson Bagent because we want to follow the blueprint and see what success comes. This is exactly what you're saying to me. Start a vet, have the rookie come in later.
All right.
Right? Isn't that blueprint?
I can't.
I think we're done here.
I can't.
I think.
Well, I don't know what
So
the blueprint
here's
is.
Your
the thing.
philosophy with
I
quarterback
think-
play.
I think
every
that we
time
can-
I
no.
hear from you guys say,
your philosophy
You-
on
you
how
can
to treat young
throw-
quarterbacks.
okay,
is
so
awful
what
to me.
would you do for
You
Caleb?
can have.
What
so
would you do for Caleb?
Tanner?
We would have had a plan in place back in March, Tanner.
All right, first off,
Tanner.
you're talking about Ryan Poles, and that's not
I'm
happening.
not Ryan Poles. I'm
Exactly.
telling you
Tanner,
when you run
wait,
a fucking
so
organization.
we
I'm
can
saying,
put-
what do you do with
we can
Caleb
put
right now?
We can
You
put
don't.
some
Tanner,
examples.
right now is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about back in March.
In March, they only had Tyson Bagent.
Yes, you have opportunities to get other quarterbacks
They
on that
ain't
team,
spending money.
on that roster.
They spent out and they went and got DeAndre Swift. They got
Tanner.
Keenan Allen. They
No.
paid DJ Moore. You went out and got Nate Davis. You went out and got Shelton Coleman. You went out and got
No.
you have Montez Sweat already. You paid Montez
There is
Sweat.
always a way, Tanner.
No, look,
Always a way.
I just
Tyrod Taylor still exists in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
As a pretty good backup, as a matter of
he
fact.
is a great backup.
So I guess my point would be is
I'm just
you,
confused
You
here.
can
Carson
always
Wentz was
have.
available
I know
for
you're
the record.
confused. I know you're confused. So
I don't
to
get
your
what
point,
you want to do for certain franchises.
To your
that don't know how
point,
to run.
Tanner. So to Tanner's point, you can always have a CJ Stroud, right?
Good.
But more commonly,
I mean, that's not going well.
far
either,
more
so.
commonly, if you're talking about the GOAT situation, you're going to have an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes far more often than you're going to have a guy like a CJ Stroud that just pops in here like nothing ever happened. He's running the league.
Coulda, woulda,
you know?
shoulda. Yeah. Sure, they should have. I would love to see every franchise
So
do that.
that's
to
part of the
rookies.
problem now with the NFL is
I
that
would
there's
love
no
it.
patience anymore. We live in this ADHD.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to start now.
And
You have to
guys
start
like-
now.
We live in this
guys like
TikTok
CJ
world now
Stroud-
where we just need now. rather
Guys
than
like
patience.
absolutely, and guys like CJ Stroud make it worse because now they've convinced guys like Tanner that now all of a sudden you can have a guy roll into the league and it's
Roll
easy.
in.
But
Start winning.
you don't
It's
put
easy.
anything
Yeah, start
around
winning.
him to even put you don't have that competition to do that. Atlanta did because they got Kirk Cousins, right?
They
And
did it, but they did it correctly. You agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
Hey,
we're done.
But you got to realize certain franchises
I've
aren't
convinced
doing
him.
this.
I've convinced
No, you did
him.
not convince
yes,
me.
I did. Yep. Yeah, I convinced him.
That's a different situation than what the Chicago
No,
Bears
if
are.
you agree,
That's a different situation
listen
than
to
what
me. If
the
you agree,
Washington Redskins are.
If you agree with what the Falcons did,
That's a
with
different
Kirk
situation
Cousins and
than what the
Michael
Denver
Penix
Broncos
Jr.,
are doing.
then you agree with my premise, which is that
That
you've
is
gotta
the
have a
correct way to
guy-
do it.
Yes,
It's the correct
thank
way.
you. Thank you. I
Yes,
convinced
I've always
you.
said that.
Mike and I convinced you of that.
I've
of what
always
you were
said
just-
that.
You were unsure of that.
But because you spent out money otherwise, the Bears can't do that.
Tanner, I said back in March, you
Yeah,
had
you're
a
gonna
plan
start Carson
in
Wentz.
place.
When you go out
No,
and
I
get a
just threw it out there as
DJ
Carson
Moore,
Wentz.
a
The
Keenan
Bears-
I was saying I would
Allen.
have
So
brought
he's
in
bringing
Carson
up the
Wentz as
Bears.
my
No,
starting
no.
quarterback.
Well,
He's bringing up the Bears.
well, because we talked about Caleb here. We talked about Caleb.
That's fine.
When you out and spend money for that, you're not going to start some
Right.
bum backup
Well,
quarterback.
when we
That's
take
fine.
over
You're
the
gonna start
Bengals
a
or the
rookie
Browns,
star.
when we take over the Browns as an organization, I know as far as player personnel goes, you're kind of have to be cut off.
Why?
And these
Why?
are-
Because I
these
know
are
the bluept
two-
too, where I am bringing a strong
These
vet.
are two different
I'm not bringing a
conversations.
bum backup.
So I think
Okay.
probably all three
I'm spending
of us,
money for a strong vet presence.
Do we all
Tanner.
three
A Kirk
agree?
Cousins.
Do we all three agree that the Bears did it wrong?
Yes,
Perfect.
but they've always
Do you
done
agree?
it wrong. Look what they did with Justin Fields.
Give me a second. They did it wrong by forcing him into a situation that early when he wasn't ready, but they actually did give talent around him. So there's good receivers, Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen, etc. There's good
But with a
parts
coach,
around
but
there.
with a coach
But
that you know you're going to fire at the end of the year.
at the end of the day,
It doesn't
yes,
matter.
they're doing him wrong by that because they're not setting up for a future success down the road whatsoever, and they're assuming this guy's going to come into the situation and just understand the offense fully, but they have to dumb it down still. To Tom Brady's point, with what he talked about, you're not going to have a full grasp of an offense until year 3 within that same offense. And that's why these guys that rotate through these coordinators year after year after year.
Well, you generally have to have the same offense,
and
right? Like you can't just bounce around a team.
That's what I just said, Tanner.
Yeah.
So
like Carson Wentz,
you need
can't
to
just come in and run this offense right now. Tyrod Taylor can't run in and come in and run this offense right now.
Veteran presence and leadership goes a long way.
I agree with that.
21-year-old quarterbacks.
I agree with that. Why are we Tyson Badging it in Caleb Williams' sake? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not talking about that. What are you talking about?
Veteran presence. You just said veteran presence is huge.
Yes.
That's the vet that Caleb has to look at.
I'm not the Bears' freaking ownership.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not their manager.
I'm telling
Ryan
you.
Poles, Tanner.
I know what you want. I understand what needs to happen.
You're asking me why is that the thing? I'm telling you right now that it was not supposed to be the thing.
You had the opportunity. Listen to me.
Should have never been the thing to begin
with.
with.
They had the opportunity to bring in a guy like Gardner Minshew.
Oh God.
Okay. They had an opportunity to bring in a veteran cop. You don't need a superstar. You don't need a guy.
No,
like
you don't
Alex
need a superstar.
It would have
Gardner would have been the right guy.
All you need is a Drew Bledsoe or less.
Gardner would have been the right guy.
Shit, Andy Dalton might have been okay for that.
Andy Dalton would have been great, but he was already signed.
They had nobody.
I'm just saying there was options out there to have a veteran presence in front of a young quarterback.
I think behind in this case. So.
We have a great thing right now. Like, there's some rookies that come out and they play well right away, but most of them need that development. And even then, they don't fully develop.
No.
CJ Stroud, guys, we're talking about him right now, had a great year last year as a rookie. His year 2 development so far, it's kind of been a rocky start, has it not, you guys?
Yeah. I mean, you got shut out last week?
So. I mean, I don't know about Trevor Lawrence at this point. I mean, he's only regressed. I don't even know where to freaking begin on that.
I don't know where to go.
I'll tell you
that's
what,
a disaster of its own thing.
I'll tell you what the solution is. We need more people like John Elway did back in the day and like Eli Manning did back in the day to say, nope, you're not going to draft me.
That's your Sanders.
If I get drafted into a bullshit situation like this, I'm not going to play. And I think we need those guys.
Sanders will do that next year.
Those guys, it's amazing that it happened so long ago.
Shouldn't be a first-round pick at all.
That's what we need.
6th round, 7th round pick.
Yeah.
But do you not agree with me? Like all these quarterbacks, they just get drafted and say, okay, well, I'll go play there. They're going to ruin these guys' freaking career.
The last one that did that was Eli Manning.
Yeah, it was Eli.
Yeah.
It was the last one that did that.
But before that, you had John Elway. No, I'm not going to play there. So I want more quarterbacks to take control of the situation and say, I'm not going into a bad situation with your bullshit coach like the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus, who you're going to fire at the end of the year anyway.
Time out.
Tanner,
you just said.
Do you not agree with it? They're going to fire him at the end of this year?
Yes, they will. He's canned. All right. I'm aware of this. But you're telling me that it's a bad situation because of coaching. When you tell me, you call me up, right? You're Ryan Poles. You call me up, and I'm Caleb Williams sitting here at the number 1 overall spot. And you're like, man, guess what? We're going to extend DJ Moore in a couple months here. We got Keenan Allen. We just traded him and got him on your team. And guess what? We got a couple guys for you on the offensive line, and we got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. And you're going to tell me that you hear those names through your head, and you're like, that's a bad situation. That's a bad situation. That's not a bad situation.
I think that coaching is a bigger thing than you guys think. I think that.
Well, you went out and got a new OC. You went out and got Shane Waldron from Seattle, believe.
Listen to me.
As a quarterback coach who has success with Geno.
If you could see a Josh Allen without a Brian Daboll, if you could see a Patrick Mahomes without Andy Reid, you might think a little bit differently about how you're answering these questions.
Right,
and we're never going to know.
Wait. Hold on.
Okay. We're never going to know the answer to that, right?
Well, he brought up Josh Allen.
Oh, the bum. Gotcha.
Brian Daboll fixed him. He was a bad quarterback coming into the league. We don't know what a Patrick Mahomes would have looked like without Andy Reid, okay?
Yeah.
If you throw Patrick Mahomes into, let's just say,
I
don't know,
coaching does matter.
Bryce Young's current situation. We don't know what that looks like, and we're never going to know what that looks like.
Where is Caleb going?
But I'm just saying that coaching matters more than you think it does. And when you're teaching these guys multiple offenses.
But from a rookie that's being drafted You think they're staring
Why
at
do you
Another
think-
one I'd
okay.
like to use
Why
as
do you
an
think-
example real quick is Jordan Love. Oh, I think that was a great situation for him to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for basically 3 years.
Absolutely.
That was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers,
That's why
Aaron
Jordan Love
Rodgers
is
behind
where
Brett Favre.
Yes, Jordan Love's
But-
injured right now,
but
but
it
that's
is-
why he is where he is right now because of that development period.
But
But
is-
time to grasp the offense in the NFL and what it takes to be a goddamn pro elite
is
quarterback.
Justin Fields not 3-0 right now? And do we not think that coaching had something to do with that?
No, it does not.
I will say coaching.
Stop it. Arthur Smith is not.
Hang on.
Godsend.
Coaching has a lot to do with that, but also
That's
his
who the
number
OC
one
is.
number one defense in the
I
NFL.
don't
has a
care.
lot to
I'm
do with
talking
that,
about
too.
the coach.
Yeah.
The coaching staff.
Yeah,
Well, if there's anyone
Arthur
that can,
Smith.
if there's
has
anyone that
anything
can
to do with it?
fix Justin Fields, it might be the Steelers. Might be.
You don't have to fix him. I'm talking about the trajectory of his career. The trajectory of his
he
career.
was meant to fail immediately.
Yeah.
Due to the situation he was put in.
That's what Caleb Williams is.
Right. Justin Fields needed
Those situations.
Justin
Could have
Fields,
been
you guys
better.
realize
franchises.
Justin
Could have
Fields
been
was
better.
20 years old when he came
Yes.
into the league.
Yes.
He was a redshirt sophomore
Yes, it was insane.
coming into the league. Like there was no reason for a 20-year-old to be starting in the NFL as a quarterback in the NFL, which is like I said earlier,
When you're still
is
learning
the
football.
most difficult position in all of sports. It has the most
I'm just
responsibility.
saying,
It's an organization mess. Each
don't
organization's
be
different.
surprised. Don't be surprised when some of these guys get fixed.
Caleb's gonna be fine.
That's
Caleb's
all
gonna
I
be
can tell you
fine.
because the whole world is sitting out there.
But the initial
they
question-
don't understand. They don't understand why is Sam Darnold 3-0? Why is Justin Fields 3-0? We don't understand. Those are shitty
Stop
ass
talking about
quarterbacks.
Justin Fields.
They're
That's such a
shitty as
joke
fuck.
right
like
now.
don't just try to understand a
Justin
little
Fields
bit more
isn't
that
3-0.
the coaching side
defenses.
matters and the organizational side matters.
Just know your question was Caleb Williams a mistake? No, it was not. So that's all I got to say.
All right, guys. Let's
That was good
wrap
combo.
it up.
That's a half-hour
That was a great
conversation about
comment.
one
Let's-
tiny little question.
Wrap it up with our last segment of the day. I didn't even get to say the thing I wanted
Can
to
we get
say.
the buffoon of the day?
Starsky would have gotten horny because
Starsky is the
You were
buffoon
gonna
of
talk-
the
you
day.
were
I'm
gonna
gonna say
talk?
I'm gonna say one line and
I
then
think
we're not
Starsky
gonna
is the
respond.
buffoon of
Hey,
the day. Actually,
one line and we're not gonna respond. I think Tanner, you were totally wrong about the Bills this year. I think even I was wrong. I think this is the Josh Allen MVP season.
Mm.
I feel like that at this point. The Bills look like they're running smoothly. They're legit offensively. They're reminding me of Patrick Mahomes when Tyreek Hill left because it felt like it opened up the offense more. And the Bills are doing the same thing with Stephon Diggs being gone. And so for me, don't respond to this. I'm serious. We're not getting into this. I think this is the Josh Allen finally winning an MVP season.
I can agree with that.
I'm just gonna
But
throw it out
I'm
there.
glad he brought it up because that leads in perfectly to the easy money bet of the week.
Easy money.
There we go,
All
man.
right, ladies and gentlemen, last week here, the Buffoons went 3-4 in their bets here. JG had Raiders Raiders -5, Jags +5. Andy Dalton decided to ruin that for him.
Yeah,
here,
we
and
lost
Trevor
everything,
Lawrence
dude.
sucked. So JG is 0-5-1 for the year so
Still
far.
on the cooler, boys.
5-1.
5-1.
Big dick
Come
cooler.
on, dude.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 0-5-1. Mike here, he had the Seattle -4.5.
Killed it.
Easiest bet for sure. Love that bet so much. There and they of course covered. So that is Mike is now 3-1 on the year. And then myself here, my two college football picks hit. Liberty -6, easy. Tulane -3, a little close at first, but they ended up pulling through just fine. Love that. And then my two NFL bets did not hit. Bucks -6.5. The great old Baker Mayfield Browns came through. Really disappointing there. And the Bears money line had a chance at the end there, just couldn't pull through. Anthony Richardson is not a good quarterback, and somehow Caleb is right there with him. So I went 2-2 for that week. So I am total now at 5-4 for the year. Brings our Buffoon total to 8-10-1, which is a 42.11%.
And I've got all 10 of those losses, I think, right?
You have 5 of those losses.
I have half of the. That's great,
Guys,
man.
the goal for this group before the year ends is 60%. Okay. I've been saying that. That's our goal, 60% as a group. Guys, it's meant to be called easy money because it's supposed to be an easy money best bet of the week. Your favorite bet of the entire week out of all the fucking bets you can possibly come up with.
So many
out of
good
your
lines,
pull out of your
man.
fucking ass.
It's
This is
easy
the
to
best.
lose.
The easy. It's easy.
Easy to lose. That's why you should just bet
The goal
opposite.
is
So you want me to
Bet
pick
the
one?
opposite of whatever Tanner says.
pick things that win.
Yeah,
Pick things that win.
I got 5 of them. So
Ugh. Okay.
He's
You got 5? Tanner.
Wow.
Tanner.
Okay,
There's-
let me go first.
why-
Let me go
there's
first.
a lot of
by the way.
great lines I like. I think that I believe they're full.
I'm gonna say
winners.
this right now.
Let me go
If you
first.
go
This
1
is
and 4
bullshit.
this coming week, then you need to stop with that shit.
Well, I won my 2 college bets.
I'm letting you
You
know.
did.
If you
I
go
know.
1
2
and
and
4,
2.
1 and 4 this, if you got 5 bets, if you go 1 and 4, stop. Just don't do that. First of all, Starsky does parlays with our bets. How's he gonna do a fucking 10-leg parlay?
I
if
don't
we
care
always
what
bet?
he does. That's his choice. We tell him not to parlay.
Well, why don't you just bet? Oh, we'll just do 10
if
easy
he
money.
wants to parlay it, I'll just give him the whole slate and go from there.
Jesus fuck.
All right, you might go first, Tanner.
Yeah, go first.
All right,
I'll
bro.
just pick one because you guys get mad at me.
No,
All
don't do
right.
1, Tanner. Just do 3. A normal 3.
But there's
Like a normal person.
but
Pick your
there's
top
good
3.
lines.
No, pick
I don't
Tanner.
have top 3.
Pick your easiest of all
This
the
is my top 4.
All right.
My
Could
top
you just
5.
Easiest of the easiest.
please stop
Take your-
thinking out loud so I can talk? All right. So this is the get right game for the JG because I've been letting you guys down. I'm going to stop right now. Okay. I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. And this is a kind of a show your true colors game. Okay. Because a lot of people think the Bills are just fucking amazing right now. And they are. Josh Allen is phenomenal. He is going to win the MVP. Okay. Don't even just give him the award right now. It's over. But I feel like this is one of those games where Baltimore is going to finally show their true colors. We've been waiting on them for a long time. I know they've actually got 1 win this year, but they're still actually pretty shitty team. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at home -2.5.
JG, I like that one. Mike approves. And you're doing 1 bet?
Only doing 1
Okay.
because I've been playing like shit.
Right.
Like,
No, I
don't
gotta
wanna-
get back
I don't
to the
wanna
basics.
screw people. I don't want to
Back
be
to the
like
basics.
Tanner with his rookie quarterbacks and screw people over for the rest of his life.
Well, he enjoys
So
that.
I'm just like, if I'm on the cooler, I'm just going to give you guys 1, and we're going to try to turn this thing around.
I like start off easy, ease it in. Let's get back to
You
the
guys
where we need to
have
be.
no idea what I was even talking about. So-
All right. You said you had 5 bets.
He's got to talk about UNLV. We are
All
going
right.
to have a UNLV discussion at the end of the show, by the way.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have 2 bets this week, as a matter of fact. I had to go with the one on Saturday, you guys, without a doubt, because I mean, guys, that's the game of the week of pretty much all sports at this point. We got number 2 Georgia versus number 4 Alabama. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man, this game. I can't wait to see who wins, honestly. But I don't really care about who wins. I care about the over-under. I love the under 48.5 in this game, as a matter of fact. Georgia's offense has actually been struggling a little bit, and they have hit the under 6 of the last 7 games. As a matter of fact, Alabama, even without Nick Saban, has been kind of rolling teams a little bit. So I think they're looking pretty strong. But at the same time, Georgia's defense, as usual, is going to end up coming to fight and come into play. 48.5 for this game for me. I really like the under on that one. So I'm looking for a score closer to the 24-21 type of a score in this game. The current spread right now is Georgia -2.5. So it's going to be within a 3-point game, most likely. So we'll see. Anyways, like I said, I like Georgia to hit the game to hit the under, but Georgia has hit the under 6 of the last 7 games, which is why I'm going to continue with that streak at this point. But if you wanted to parlay it, if you were interested in parlaying it, this is not part of my bet, for the record. I would say take Alabama to cover +2 on top of the under. For the record,
Ooh, I like Georgia -2. So
I like Alabama to actually win the game, as a matter of fact.
interesting. All right.
All right, guys, my next one after that, I got one more. This is my favorite of the entire week, as a matter of fact. I like this one way more than the Alabama one. Steelers Colts. Find it right now before it gets moved even further down. I got it last night at under 40. 40 even. Not 40.5, not 39.5. 40 even. Hit the under on Steelers Colts. And goddamn. When I saw that, I was like, I have to bet on it right away, and I did. I love the under on this game, without a doubt. I think that the Colts are just kind of a mess of a team at the moment, and they will be throughout most of the season, as a matter of fact. And the Steelers are a great defensive team. I mean, they are probably the best defense in the league at the moment, when you take all things into consideration. And also, the Steelers' offense is not exactly a big ball mover at the moment. I mean, they still got Justin Fields running the show. And you expect to see them do a lot of groundwork in this game between the running quarterbacks between Justin Fields, you got Jonathan Taylor on the Colts side, Najee Harris. The clock's going to be moving throughout the game as well. So, guys, definitely look towards the under 40 points in Colts Steelers. I don't know what book has that currently, Tanner. Please tell me somebody does, because I bought it yesterday at 40 on Fanatics, as a matter of fact. Was the book I used.
40.5 actually is now at ESPN Bet, but you can get under 40 across from BetMGM, Caesars, and DK. And as well as, of course, ESPN Bet has that too. Fanatics under 40 as well.
So if you see 40 even, take the under on the 40. That way, if the game happens to just end for some reason, 25-15, then you still get your money back.
All right. I'll give you guys 3 bets here. We're going to go first off. Once again, we're riding Tulane -6.5. We're going against South Florida. They'll be at home for Tulane here on Saturday. Look, oops, I got to bring this up, man. Oh, man, I hate Apple. South Florida here has faced two big teams. Alabama, they lost 16-42 early in the season. And then last week, they faced Miami, and they lost 50-15 there. Meanwhile, Tulane out here did beat Louisiana last week, as we talked about. They lost to Oklahoma, lost to KSU.
That was a great pick, Tanner.
And I just feel like this continues. I think they're still the better team in this matchup. They did win the last 3 games versus South Florida. And I just think that this continues here, especially at home for Tulane, a big competitive team that does it well. So -6.5 there for Tulane.
And Tulane's battle tested, as we talked about last week, as a matter of fact. So they know how to play against a good team.
They will. And I think this will be a fun game to watch, but I like Tulane. Oh, sorry, Tulane -6.5. Next up, once again, we're going back to them, guys. Always take advantage of it when they are in the single digits. We're going Liberty. Liberty.
Oh, my goodness.
On Liberty again.
Calm down.
Ride the wave, bro.
Liberty against Appalachian State. Liberty 4-0. Appalachian State's 2-2 this year. Again, Liberty beat out ECU, covered the 7.5-point spread. Last week we talked about them already. But if you look at Appalachian State, this Appalachian State team sucks this year. They are bad. I know this is at Appalachian. There was a guy picking up trash a couple weeks ago at Appalachian there, or last week actually.
What?
There was a student,
a former player?
having to pick up an abandoned student section, bunch of trash because they left it.
Oh.
And that's how bad Appalachian State has been. It's been an embarrassment. They lost.
I do that for my building sometimes.
This is
fake news, man.
South
Fake
Alabama
news.
Jaguars. South Alabama Jaguars. They lost 48-14 2 weeks ago. This is not a great team at all. This team is
What's
awful.
the spread, Tanner?
-3.5.
Actually,
-3.5, ladies and gentlemen. Liberty a -3.5. Go grab it while you can.
I do kind of like that.
I do love that pick there. So we are going Liberty and Tulane once again this week. And then finally the NFL pick. I am going to give you. By the way, I'll give you my 2 side bets where I'm not putting in the thing because everybody's mad at me.
Tanner, just take your top 3 and then leave the other 2 out.
I'm going to tell them about the 2 that I like here.
You should tell them. That's fine.
Okay. NFL bet here. Let's see if we can win an NFL bet this year. Carolina go with Cincinnati with the Bengals this week. Bengals stink. They're awful. Joe Burrow can't pass the ball. They can't run the game. They can't play defense. They can't do anything here. They lost to Jaden Daniels in Washington, and Washington has one of the worst secondaries out there, ladies and gentlemen. Carolina out here with Andy Dalton's a whole new revival of that team there because they aren't as bad as they should as they look the first 2 weeks. I promise you, it's quarterback play, and we talked about quarterback play earlier today. So
I'll dig in with you forever about quarterback play, Tanner.
Yeah, I know you will. Give me Carolina +4 in this matchup here this week here. I love Carolina here to take it to the Bengals and win that game.
Jeez.
So Tulane -6.5, Liberty -3.5, Panthers +4 this week. Unlike Jason, who picked against the Panthers last week with the Raiders. So I'm going to go for the Panthers this week with the Red Rocket.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, Jason's picks last week were pretty rough.
A couple other games, I'll throw it out there. Not part of the easy money bets, but I'll put them on the side here, and we'll keep track if they win or not. Just don't you forget about it. Army -12.5 going on Thursday. What day is the date?
Today's Wednesday, Tanner. We do shows on Wednesday.
Appreciate it. 26. So that would be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow at 7. So if you're bored on the Thursday night football game, switch to Army and Temple. This might be a blowout, though. Army is killing it this year. They are a different style of team, and they might make the playoff, actually. And if they continue undefeated, it'll come down in between them and Navy this year, I believe, for that playoff spot there, because Navy is also rocking it. Minus 12.5 is our spread there. Temple's having a rough year. They did beat Utah State, but they lost to Coastal. They lost to Navy 11-38. Obviously getting destroyed by Oklahoma. Not a lot of fun there for them. So I am going Army minus 12.5 on that one. And then my other unofficial bet is SMU at Florida State at SMU this week here. The line's only minus 5.5. Right now it looks like it went up to 6, minus 5.5 though. Is where I got it at. We all know what Florida State looks like, and DJ Ugumalala does not look great.
Bullshit.
SMU, on the other hand, can put up points, and I think that's the thing that Florida should scare Florida State the most is if SMU can get that offense rolling, that's gonna be a long day for Florida State because they can't. As soon as that defense lets go of a couple scores up, DJ can't keep up. He can't put up the points that they can. So I like SMU at minus 5.5, minus 6 even within the touchdown to win that game there. So that's my 2 side bets.
Well, keep track of that for us, Tanner. I'm curious how those do.
I will.
When you start going out there doing 5 while he has 1 and I have 2.
So if
I feel like that we start getting lopsided.
If I go 4-1, aka 4-1 with the NFL in college, so all college wins, am I allowed to bet more than 2 or 3? 2 college bets?
That's fine. Look, all I'm saying is we have a goal as a group to hit 60%, right?
Yeah, and I would have hit you.
But I don't want you to have to, feel like you need to carry us by any means. That's
I
not
find
what this is
the
all
easy
about.
money bet lines and I put it in.
I know as an individual, I think if we all do our part as an individual, then we can come together as a team.
So if I go 5-0,
hit that 60%,
you're gonna be mad that I didn't.
No, I'm not being mad. I'm gonna say, great, you went 3-0 because you got the 3 that mattered.
I feel like
these
if
2
Tanner,
mattered too. Should
I feel like if Tanner stops drinking on Tuesdays, then he's gonna hold up his end of the bargain.
Well, that's a different
I don't know if that's
Mercy.
gonna happen.
I haven't drank Tuesdays in a while.
That's a different story.
5 picks for Tanner is going to get the winning percentage of the Buffoons to where it needs to be. That's right, Starsky. Appreciate that. And short week for Buffalo, still partying for Monday night. So
yeah,
there it is. I got my side bets there. We got that. So your full easy money bets for the Buffoon here for this upcoming weekend. Ravens -2 for JG. Georgia, Alabama under 48.5. And Steelers, Colts under 40 for Mike. And I have my official picks are Tulane -6.5, Liberty -3.5, and the Panthers at +4.
Which, for the record, I already have bets put in place.
I have all my bets. I put it in last night. Everything's put in
place.
Money down, guys. I don't play around with whatever I tell you. I'm betting with you. So just be aware of that, including Army and SMU.
Flat it out. And this weekend, JG and I are going to the casino, so he'll be putting his money in there as well. For the record, sports betting's allowed in Iowa. So while we're there, JG, might as well throw in your favorite sports bet.
The last time I checked, we're not going to Iowa.
Oh, we will, because Ameristar is in Council Bluffs, Iowa. We're going to the border. Omaha and Council Bluffs border. They're border.
So I can make my bets. You lied to me earlier. You said I wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, I want you to do it now. So for the record, when you go to Ameristar in Iowa, sports betting is allowed there. It's across the river. It's like being in KCK versus KCMO.
Legit.
Same thing.
Yeah.
My concert I'm going to and where we're staying is Omaha, but we are literally 5 minutes from the border of Iowa. So
I'm not sure if I believe all that what you just said, but
we'll figure it out. I'm driving us.
We'll figure it out later.
You'll get to Iowa before you know it.
You need to go ahead and put that $1,000.
I'll throw a grand. Yeah, I'm gonna put 1,000. So that's amazing. You get $1,000 to make 425, and it's guaranteed.
It's all guaranteed.
That's a good bet right there, boys. That's
if
you guys,
it's free money.
That's a good freaking bet on Fanatics. And I'm not they're not sponsoring me.
No, but
I'm going to throw that out there.
If you're in a betting state and you're not participating in the new user friendly bets, free bets that they provide, get with it. Come on.
Yeah. That's for sure.
It's one of the best deals. You can really grow a bankroll that way. So
yeah, there's a lot of idiots that live around me that don't want to put their money in and win some money. So
yeah.
they're scared because like, oh, it's a scam. No, it's not really a scam. Literally, it's free money being handed to you if you just try. So
yeah.
Yep. Anyways, guys, before we get out of here real quick, guys, Kareem Hunt, you excited for him to be back in the Chiefs uniform?
Yeah.
Heck
I'm not
yeah,
holding my
dude.
breath yet.
He's gonna get a few snaps, right?
He'll get a couple this
I want to
week.
see him do another love tap on one of these chicks in the hotel
okay.
lobby, man. Just one of those little love taps. Just not actually kick them or hit them, but just give them a little love tap with the foot like you did last time.
Yeah. I wonder if he's still into the whores. Coming over to the hotel room. Because that seemed to be the issue, was that there was a whore at the hotel room that wouldn't leave.
Last time I checked, we don't necessarily need that type of language in here, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I just said the W word. You said
Oh,
the W word. Yeah.
Hookers?
Yeah, we don't allow that.
Hookers is an H word if that works.
That's an H.
Hooker.
We're trying to crack down on that.
Hookers.
Oh,
Trying to
man.
crack down on that shit.
He kicked a hooker in the head because he didn't pay her. And she was pissed and throwing a fit, and he never gave her the money. And so she was throwing a fit, so then he booted her in the face.
I don't even think it was in the face, man.
He got her in the face. Well, the head.
And then,
Well, I guarantee your vagina still worked, which is what her money makes her.
still works. It still works.
She still made money, I guess, after that. So
As long as it still works, man. That's all I care about.
all right, guys, that's why we are called the Sports Buffoons. God damn it. So,
Jason,
with that said,
free Matthew Sluka. Free Matthew Sluka.
Well, we got to talk about UNLV, Tanner. You want to talk about UNLV?
Free Matthew Sluka. That's all I'm saying. That's
Free him.
Free him.
He didn't get paid.
He didn't get paid.
They ripped him off.
And then Michael.
And I'm saying that as a KU fan, by the way.
Michael Allen as well. Free Michael Allen, redshirt junior now.
Is that the running back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man, that they don't want to pay these guys. Especially, I think it's the NCAA's fault. They don't, they say, oh, we want to pay the players. And now all of a sudden, now they're not getting paid.
It's part Sluka, part
Big
UNLV.
surprise on
this
that,
was
bro.
a verbal agreement, not a written agreement.
Oh, sure. But then they quit. They quit the team.
Yeah.
So at
the
that
verbal
point,
agreement wasn't.
At that point, I don't care if it's a verbal or a written agreement. It's over.
Get it in
if
paper,
the guy
man.
walks out of the room and you have no quarterback,
That's fine. That's fine. But
That's-
you got to get
to
it in paper.
me-
You got to get it in writing. Though.
to me, that's the same as a written agreement.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have a quarterback
Yeah.
or a running
I mean,
back.
yeah. Now you're going 3-0 to 3-3.
So, yeah, good riddance to them. I mean, I do love the city of Las Vegas, but I'm also a KU fan. So
Shame for
good
UNLV.
riddance.
Yeah. Tough one.
all right, guys. Well, that's all for today. And we'll come back a week from now and have a lot more to talk about, of course. So we'll go from there and see how we did in the East Manic picks, especially. So. All right, guys. Well, with all that said, I said what I need to say. You guys said what you need to say, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
Outro.
See you guys.